Friends, family, patrons, and fellow YouTubers, I got something special planned for today's video. Yep, it's going to be an unboxing. And it's not just any unboxing. This unboxing comes to us from these guys right here. That's right, Benchmade. Let's get right into it. Alright, so what do we have here? Well, what we have here is obviously something from Benchmade. We have my original Benchmade 940. Now you might be asking, what in the heck is he talking about? His original Benchmade 940. Well, I'm going to tell you here. This unboxing is actually going to be a knife review, and it's going to be a company review, and it's not going to come from a professional, and it's not going to come from somebody that's going to tell you all about different grinds and metals and steels and all that good stuff. It's going to come from a guy that just likes to have a good pocket knife on him every day, and likes to be able to have that pocket knife last him and be reliable and easy to store and easy to deploy and reliable. So that's what I'm going to talk to you today about. But first, I am going to get into the unboxing of this bad boy, and we're going to talk about it as we go here. As you can see, this has got anti-pilfer tape on it. I mean, this has not in any way, shape, or form been opened. Bubble wrap here. Okay, so it comes in a really nice box. This is almost comparable to the box I bought it in. Man, that's pretty nice. Oh boy. Oh, look at that. They gave me my old clip back. That's got some wear and tear. There's some mileage on that bad boy right there. Oh boy, here we go. Oh, buddy. Man. It's got that deep pocket clip on it. Oh man, that is just buttery smooth. And of course, I'd expect nothing less than hair popping sharp blade on it. I just cannot get over how buttery smooth that knife is. Got some dings here on the scales from normal use over the last year that I've owned it. But I can't ask for more. I mean, that is just beautiful. Okay, so the one thing I had changed was I had the black blade added. And at first I was actually thinking about doing the black blade with the serrated edge here and then the rest a straight edge, but I decided against that. I just don't cut enough rope. I don't work rodeo or anything like that. I'm not on a ranch anymore, so there's really no need for me to have a serrated edge if I'm not around rope or that type of situation. So I opted away from the serrated edge and I got the straight edge instead. Isn't that beautiful? You guys are seeing this here with me. This is now just kind of a little bit of a backstory on this. I've owned this knife for about a year now, and about almost 2 months ago now, probably about a month and a half ago, the axis lock quit working. And what had happened is a couple of the little springs in there, one of them broke and the other one wasn't working properly. And I'm fanatical about this knife. I keep it clean every day and keep it oiled like I'm supposed to with you know, light non-sticky oil. And you know, I lost one of the screws out of it, and I had a few chips in a few dings in the blade and some scratches in the blade. And I just decided that it was time to have it serviced, and you know, I wanted to test out that Life Sharp lifetime warranty that Benchmade had. And so I did. I sent it off and I wanted to see what they would do with it. Well, they did quite a bit with it. That's a lot of parts replaced here. Okay, so one of the things I really look for in an everyday carry knife is I want it to be easily accessible, easy to deploy, and then easy to restow after I'm done using it. And so I'm going to demonstrate that here today by showing you. I've got my old, well, it's not old, but my Case Mini Trapper that my son gave me, the gentleman's knife, if you will. And I'm going to show you a system that I use to carry both the more modern 940 and the Case Mini Trapper together. And I like to carry both of them because I really love my Case Mini Trapper as well. My son got it for me, it's special to me. It's more of what I feel to be like a gentleman's knife. And so it's not quite as scary to some people. So you can use it in different applications. And then I also love my 940, obviously. And it's my favorite knife in the world, to be honest with you. But again, I have that much love for my Case as well. So I'm going to show you a system that I use without rambling on too much here. I'm going to show you a system that I use to carry both knives, and I'm going to talk about some of the pros and cons of each one. There's really not too many cons for the 940 other than what I've already discussed, being a little bit scary to some people. But even in that regard, the 940 being as tactical and modern as it is really isn't that scary to people, and I'll show you why. So let's take a look. Okay, so just to give you an idea of my particular method of carrying these knives, I wear these Wrangler 20X jeans, and they're really nice because I've got this little watch pocket here, and my case fits in that just perfect. I mean, it really fits nicely in that. I can stick it right in there like that, and then I have my 940 sitting right here. They don't rub against each other, and I can carry both knives. So yeah, I like to carry 2 knives. The 940 fits in there really nice, right in that second bigger pocket, and it's got that new deeper clip on it for the deeper pocket carry, which I've carried this for a little while now, and I absolutely love it. I can tell you right now, I'm gonna love it. So what makes the 940 have it over on something more traditional like the Case Mini Trapper? The Case Mini Trapper, okay, so I need to use my knife. I go for it, and I've got to dig it out, and then I've got to use 2 hands. I've got to deploy my blade, and then I can use it for whatever I want. 2 hands, close it. Pretty much 2 hands to get it back in my pocket, just to make sure it's nice and safe, and there we go. Now it's a different story with the 940. If I need the 940, I just reach down in there, deploy it, there it is. Same thing for stowaway. After I use it for whatever, pop it, deployed and stowed, just like that. Sorry, mix up my words, but you understand what I'm saying. So again, trapper, use it, and I'm overemphasizing this obviously to kind of demonstrate. Again, my 940, go for it, use it, stow it, done. So you can tell that the 940 is going to have it over. It's more of a one-handed operation, quick deploy. I can use it for whatever I want. One-handed operation to restow it, good to go. So that's one of the areas that the 940 absolutely shines. I mean, the deployment and the stowing of this knife in the industry is absolutely second to none. I mean, the operation of the knife is buttery smooth. I mean, even after I own this knife for a year, before I even sent it off, I mean, now it's like 10 times as good. And by the way, I want to point out something. When I sent this knife off, I received this knife back in better condition and nicer than when I first bought it. I want to point that out. Their Life Sharp service and their warranty service on their knives, I am not kidding you, just in this little time I've been playing with this, is just unreal. I mean, I can even tell on the bevel of the blade, if you can see it there. See if I can get this in there. It's better than when I bought it new. For those of you that own a 940, you know what I'm talking about. You could see the striations in the bevel. You know, from where they'd sharpen it with a belt sander, just kind of sharpened it, pumped it out, and it was down the line. When you send it off for their warranty service and Life Sharp service, you get it back and it has a polish on it. I mean, it looks nothing like, if you can see that or not, it looks nothing like one that you pull out of the box when you buy it new. So anyway, so there's a close-up. There's deployment and storage. I mean, to me, the 940 takes the cake every time. So okay, so there's always a few things that I forget to hit on between these clips, and so there's a few things I wanted to talk about. I mentioned something about this particular knife right here being the gentleman's knife, and it is, you know, it is a gentleman's knife. I mean, it's the fit and finish on it's beautiful. I mean, you can't argue with that. The case knives are beautiful knives, and so when you pull these out, the first thing that you think of is memories of your grandfather, you know, handing you his pocket knife whenever you needed to open something or whenever you wanted to whittle on a piece of wood or something. So that's what I think about when I open something like this. Now, to contrast that, when you pull out something like a 940 or a lot of these other more modern knives, and you have, you know, things like these reverse tonneau blades and stuff like that, there's a little bit of a factor there of modernism. There's more, there's no denying that we've gotten more tactical in our modern day. You know, and I'm not sure why that is, more of just a fad or something. I mean, there was actually more war that touched every one of our lives when our grandparents were growing up with these, you know, during World War I and World War II and stuff like that. But for some reason we've gotten more tactical. I don't know what another word to use it would be. We've gotten more military, more paramilitary, and it's touched all our lives. Well, the thing is that in the middle of that, we've also got an elegance that is of our own period in time, and I believe that the 940 captures more of the elegant factor of our modern time than it does the tactical factor, and I'll tell you why. If I'm at my son's school picnic or whatever, you know, when I pull out this knife to cut open a bag of chips or something, or whittle on a little stick or something, the teachers sitting around and the other parents and stuff, they won't even think a thing of it. You know, pull that out. But if I pull my 940 out and I'm like, you know, and I start carving on stuff or do whatever I need to, this is a pretty large knife, or it has the appearance of being a large knife, you know, and that might be a little bit more intimidating to some people. Now, I know what a lot of you are saying. You don't care what intimidates somebody else and this and that and the other, but I do, and I think a lot of people do. And so the nice thing about the 940 is you don't have to commandingly flip it open every time. You can gently open that knife, do what you need to do, and then you can put it away. You know, you can take it out nice. You can deploy it nice and slow. And so I think that, you know, on your hand you can cover it and do your thing. I really think that this knife encompasses some of the old and a lot of the new, because, you know, you can deploy it quickly, you can stow it quickly, but at the same time you can use some finesse and some tact, if you will, when you're using this knife. So I really don't have too many cons for this knife. I just don't. This knife has so many pros to it as well. The only con that I would have is the slow operation and the slow deployment, the slow stowage. I mean, but the elegance of this knife, the fit and finish, the polish, these are really apples and oranges. And so this video is not about comparing these knives at all. These are apples and oranges, and they, as far as I'm concerned, are on even playing fields in their own right. You know, I can't say enough about both of them. This is not a video about these knives, and I'm rambling, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut to the next segment here. But I just want to, you know, I want to make it expressly clear that this knife has its advantages, and this knife really doesn't have too many cons to it. And I think that's probably why it's one of the world's top EDC knives at this time. So, gosh, good job, Benchmade. So I just can't say enough about it. So we're gonna get into some cut tests. I'm gonna do some hair shaving. I'm not a hairy gorilla guy. That's tough in 2017 when everybody's got this full beard, and, you know, I feel left out. But I'm not a real hairy guy, but I'll do some hair shaving on my arm with what hair I do have on my arm. And I'll do some cut tests with it and everything, and we'll see if it can shave again after I get done with it. And go from there. So see you here in just a second. Okay, so I've got all kinds of stuff here that I just kind of figured everyday cutting stuff for the average, ordinary, everyday guy such as myself. So we'll just get right into it here. First of all, we all got to see the hair shaving test. I probably should have brought out a microscope for this for you guys, because, like I said, I'm not a hairy guy. Not at all. I don't know if it's because I'm Pollock or what the deal is, but I just don't grow much hair. And so, just to kind of start things off, I'm not sure if you can see that or not. There is, in fact, hair on that. There is, in fact, a bald spot. That works good. And some dead skin. That's always lovely. But in the spirit of this, that's what this is all about. We've established that it can, in fact, shave my hair. So, that being said, we'll start this show off with some plastic. Cut a little bit of plastic here. And nice penetration, slides right through, nice and easy. There's the plastic. Maybe we'll do a little bit of terry cloth. Just an oil rag I have laying around. It's got all kinds of different crap on it. Stuff, sorry. Oh, it slices right through that, no problem. Maybe we'll do some leather. This is some nice hard holster leather used for wet forming. We'll slice through that. Oh, even left a nice mark in there. Slices right through leather just fine. Do a little small paracord here. That's no problem. In fact, that's kind of a joke. I've got some regular cotton cord here. We'll try that. See what I got. Cut off a little slice of this. Which this is actually surprising with the rope. I mean, and I didn't realize this is small rope, but for a straight blade, I mean, it gets right through there. So nice and sharp. Oh, and I forgot, you gotta do the paper test. So gotta do a little bit of that. It goes right through paper, no problem at all. That's impressive right after the leather and the rope and everything. I have hope, high hopes. We got some paper. Of course, you gotta do some cardboard. Yep, right through the cardboard. Cardboard's no problem. A little bit of whittling. That slices right through that, nice. A little bit of a knot there, but yeah, okay. Got some whittling out of the way. And I realize that this isn't scientific or anything. I'm just kind of trying to demonstrate exactly what they did in the Benchmade commercial that you see on YouTube. You can look it up. And got some tape. Every once in a while you need to cut some tape, right? This is kind of getting ridiculous. I mean, I usually don't cut tape. I usually just rip tape, but we'll do some tape here. Okay. That's easy enough. And really, I can't think of a whole lot more that the knife needs to do. That's the hardest cut. Okay, so just to full disclosure here, that's the first cutting I've done with this knife. So we need to understand that over time, I don't care how hard the steel is. Well, I won't say that, but on any knife I've ever used in my life, I've never seen an edge be able to last forever. And you know, I've heard that some of the cheaper metal, like the 420HC, like you find on buck knives and stuff like that, I've heard that they'll actually hold an edge longer than these S30 V steels and the S90 V steels even. But that there's a difference between a hair popping edge and an effective, useful edge. And what I mean by that is, not everybody's gonna go around shaving their mustache off every day with, you know, with their blade. And so you don't always have to have it hair popping, but you do need an effective edge to last for a while on a knife so that, you know, you can do everyday tasks with it. Now that's where this one shines. The edge retention might not be hair popping forever, but it does remain very useful. I mean, for a long period of time with this knife. So anyway, that being said, now that I've done this cut test without any edits or clips here, let's shave some. Actually, I might have some more hair on this arm. Let's try this one. Yeah, I've got some on that. All right, so hopefully you can see that. I'm praying the camera's focusing here because I don't have enough. Oh yeah, it just takes it right off. I mean, it's not even a question. I could shave my whole arm. I don't have much to shave, but let's see if we can see. There's hair on there. Hair and more of that lovely dead skin. So edge retention, cut test, I'd say easily a pass. Chalk it up with another 10 out of 10 for Benchmade. Now keep in mind, this review is after their warranty services and blade work done to it. I did have the blade replaced, so just as full disclosure. But cut test, pass. Okay, so my ending impressions here is that this knife is going to leave a lasting impression on my life. I have not used a knife ever in my life before that that's hit so many areas of being a perfect everyday carry knife. And I know everybody says this. I mean, this is the same thing you're going to hear all across YouTube. And that's one of the reasons that I actually got involved with this knife. One of my favorite YouTubers, Wrangler Star, and I'm not afraid to say that either. This is his favorite knife, and so I decided that I was gonna look at it. Another one of my favorite YouTubers, Kyle Noseworthy, Weeder fan, is another one that really raves about this knife. And so when you enjoy being a part of something, or you enjoy a person as a friend, and I know that's kind of weird to say, especially for me being an older generation person, you make friends here on YouTube, and it's kind of a weird thing, but you make friends with people and they recommend certain things, and so it's just like as if a friend was right here with me recommending this knife. And so I decided that I was going to try this knife reluctantly. It's expensive. I mean, this one came in, I had an $80 gift certificate at Cabela's because I had returned something, so I had an $80 gift card, and I put that towards this, and I ended up paying around $100 for this knife. But they're closer to $200. And so I reluctantly bought this knife a year ago, well, a little over a year ago now, about a year and 3 months ago. And I can honestly tell you that this knife is the best knife money can buy for an everyday carry. Now that's in my opinion. That's in my opinion. So you have to make your own decision. There's a bunch of different varieties of the 940. This is the original 940. I actually opted for the black blade because originally I believe that's what the 940 came in, was the green handle, green anodized aluminum handle with a black blade. And so there's some nostalgia. I have nostalgia for about everything I do in my life, and it's no different with my knives. I love the Case Trapper because my son gave it to me, and it's the type of knife my grandfather carried around. And this is my generation, and it's living up to the hype, folks. I mean, everything I want this knife to do, it does. Easy deployment, easy storage, it hits all the points, it retains its edge, it's got a great shape, it's a decent slicer, the blade's a little thick. Here I go with technical terms I don't need to get into though. I'm an average guy, I really am, and I've done a lot with this knife in the last year. I mean, I've lived on a ranch, I've ran a rock quarry. As far as doing stuff in my garage, you've seen here, you've only seen a small fraction of what I do in my garage on a daily basis. This knife has cut, cleaned, gutted, everything I want it to do. And I'm still saying this after a year and 3 months or so, best knife I've ever owned. So go get you one. All right, hope you like this video. Please give me a thumbs up. Follow, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I do have a Facebook page. It's just facebook.com/GriffinBenchmark if you'd like to visit me over there. Same with Instagram, Griffin Benchmark on Instagram. Same with Twitter, Griffin Benchmark on Twitter. You can follow me, look me up anywhere you want to. But that's it for the Benchmade 940. Go get it. Go get it. Go get it. All right, catch you next time. Thanks.